play cost to the loss, never really don't play shit. We never really don't chase it. Streets to the play, no fake. Hands to the way, niggas know I ain't play. Fans to the break when I switch all day. Stance with a press to the damn all day. Stick.
Welcome back to Team Angie. Yo, check this out. If you want to hear from the horse's mouth itself, this here is going to give you a wide open view of what's it like playing with the other side. Hopefully this be an eye-opening moment. You know, it's all about awareness. But nevertheless, hopefully it's something to gain from this experience. We're going to hear from what's it like on the other side, life after death.
Was discussed by Jesus in the 4 Gospels, 70 references. He talked about heaven. Now, Jesus is love walking in the flesh. Why would he do that? It's the biggest lie. We see in Hollywood. We have people talk about it at all the funerals. Not according to what Jesus just said. These people are the blackest darkness. That's where this show is going today. Hell. Is there real hell? Is it for your... Or is the first thing we need to understand is that... Hey, everybody. We'll get back to the episode. But first, I want to thank the patrons who make this podcast possible. I may be the one you hear, but as the Apostle Paul reminds us in 1 Corinthians,
can you please just hear me out? No. All work management platforms are the same. Monday.com is one you'll actually love to use.
The unseen the body are just as important, not more important than the ones see. Your support behind the scenes is critical to sharing these messages, so thank you. If this podcast has strengthened you and you're not a patron yet, we'd love for you to join the team. Your monthly contribution will help us reach more people with timeless truth. Plus, you get some great insider perks, including private Q&As with me, as well as other exclusive content. To become a patron, just click the link or go to johnbevere.com/Patreon. Everybody, welcome to the John Bevere podcast. I'm joined today by my son, Arden Bevere. Arden, we have something huge to talk about today, and nobody needs to be missing this because it's something we don't hear about much at all today. But here's what I want to talk about. You ready?
I'm ready.
What is the biggest lie that has been embraced by the majority of eternity? What's the biggest lie about eternity? And that's what we got to talk about today. And it's important that we talk about it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm curious because obviously, even with eternity, I think eternity is a topic. When I've heard it about it, I have heard outside of you, maybe 1 or 2 preachers talk about it, like have an entire message that they talk about eternity. And I think it's interesting because obviously that's where we're all headed. Why do we not talk about it? And I think that leaves of room for misconceptions or lies that maybe you believe behind it.
Talking about 2 Peter. So we're walking through the book of 2 Peter. We're in chapter 2. We've been there a while, and we know that false teachers. And the main thing we need teachers slither their way in amongst God's people. Paul the Apostle said, I warned you day and night for 3 years with tears that men would slither in and bring messages that would corrupt, and then also from among yourselves, men would give messages that would corrupt. Now, God really upsets when people he loves get corrupted, okay? So you don't want to be one of those who are corrupting because Jesus said, hey, it's better for you that a millstone is hung around your neck and you walk the plank, like they did on some of the movies, Pirates of the Caribbean, and you go into the depths of the sea and be drowned, than to cause one of these little ones to stumble. Now, you cause people to stumble by by first and foremost way, by the way we live. Number two, by what we teach. And remember, false doctrine can be 95% truth, but 5% error, just like rats poisoning is 95% cornmeal, but only 5% arsenic.
Yeah.
And so that's what we're addressing today. We want to people to understand the seriousness of this.
Yeah. Well, not only what you just said there is one is the words that they say, but then the way that they live. And I think that's something that's true. And that's something that goes even beyond just people of the ministers of the gospel is we as Christians, we can't take on the identity and say that we're Christians, but then continue to allow ourselves as our life, because our life is at times the only Bible that people will read. So we can't say we're Christians and then going about and doing all these things, because obviously when you have an eternal perspective, it changes the way you live. It changes the way you see things, and your life and your actions have a lot more purpose behind it.
But wait a minute, if it changes the way you live and it changes the way you see things, but you embraced a lie that's not even true about eternity, which is the biggest lie, and the majority of the people have embraced this lie. Now you're not going to live different. So this is why I'm so passionate about today. And I'm so like, I mean, I'm praying this morning, like, God, please give me your heart to deliver this. Please not only give us your word, but your heart, because we want the loving heart of God in what we're sharing today. So I'm going to open it up with, not with 2 Peter, but we're going to open it up with Jesus' words. These words are in red out of Matthew chapter 7, verses 13 and 14. He said, go in through the narrow gate. So get an image, everybody, of a narrow gate, because the gate to hell, this is actually his words. The gate to hell is, and the road that leads to it is easy. And there are many. And I go, wait a minute. There are many who travel it. The word is the Greek word police. Okay, it sounds like our English word police. It's police, which means many, much of number, quantity, and amount. Okay, there are many who travel it. Listen to the next statement. But the gate to life, and this is eternal life, is narrow.
When my doctor said I needed to eat healthy for my high blood pressure, I was at a loss. Hungry Root makes it so easy to eat healthy. They deliver healthy groceries, personalized meal plans straight to your door. Their in-depth assessment helps you customize your plan based on health goals, diet restrictions, and flavor preferences. Then they pre-populate your grocery list, and you can easily switch things in or out. It's like having your own personal shopper and nutritionist in your back pocket. They've seriously taken all the guesswork out of navigating this new phase of my life. Take control of your health goals and try Hungry Root today.
So you think you know Wix, but do you really? First up, we've got Shake video masks. You can use different shapes to create completely different vibes and aesthetics. Or create your own graphic. I use the shape composition here. Just import any SVG file and set it as a shake mask. Nice. Next up, we'll keep it moving. You can use it to animate any element and create these really eye-catching interactions. And what I love is that the level of control you get here is crazy precise. You can set your animation ease, scale size, and position to create this really dope effect. Third, the Mega Menu. This not only lets you organize your site menu into different subcategories, but it also looks amazing when you add in different elements like text, buttons, and pretty much anything you can think of. And last but not least, we've got My Designs. This feature lets you save any section or component that you've already created, and you can use it as a starting point on any other pages or sites you're working on. This one's personally saved me a ton of time. So you got all these features. What you can do with them? Get on over to Wix and create something dope.
Narrow. Think about the narrow gate. The gate to life is narrow, and the way that leads to it is hard. There's no mixing words, Jesus, okay? And there are few people who find it. There are few people who find it. Now, the word few that's the Greek word, which means of quantity or amount. It means little. All right. What's the biggest lie? The biggest lie is he's in a better place. She's in a better place. Not according to what Jesus just said. He said the road to hell is wide and the gates many, which means many in number compared to other are going there. So when we see all the movies that say, oh, I think about the Gladiator and all these other things. And I'm not saying people aren't saved, and I'm not judge. I'm never, ever, ever judge. But Hollywood depicts this image of, okay, they're in a better place. But is that really true?
Okay, can I say something that I picked up as you were reading? It says the road that leads to it is easy. And I think about this is it's not necessarily that someone who's continuing on down sin path and that their life is getting easier and easier. It's this going back to what 2 Peter was talking about in the first chapter, the disciplines. It's living a life without these lens that we are called to do. It's easy to go to hell in terms of what he's saying.
Whoa.
No, sorry, that might be too
Can I just capture what you just said, the most profound statement? It's easy to go to hell. And it's hard to find life. Okay, now that right there just changes everybody's paradigm. That is a power statement you just made. So why are we talking about this? Let's go to 2 Peter so we can kind of set up. Peter says in verse 12, these false teachers are a disgrace and a stain, not outside of you, they're among you. We are told over and over again, they worm their way in. They creep in unnoticed, okay? They delight in deception, even as they eat with you in your fellowship meals. This was like a small group having a fellowship meal. Right, yeah, that's exactly what these are. So don't let that bother you, all right? Their desire for sin is never satisfied. They're driven by their flesh.
Yeah.
Okay? Now listen to this. They lure. Now think about a lure. When we do,
we cast it out.
Right? We tie a lure on our string,
we kind of
cast it out, and where are we hoping?
We're
it's going to draw the fish in, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they lure unstable.
Unstable.
What creates instability? Not being founded in the lordship of Jesus and spending time in the Word of God.
Yeah, because I do think this is something that we need to talk about, because sometimes people think about eternity and they hear, well, the road to hell is easy, and they're like, oh man, am I heading there? And that causes a great fear to them. But I like that he says specifically, they lure unstable. He's making a difference between the people who are sought after Christ. I made that decision. I gave life to the lordship of Jesus Christ, and people who are like, Christianity is nice. It's like, I kind of haven't fully given the lordship of my life to God. I still really love what the world offers. I still love partaking in those things.
That's unstable.
That's unstable.
So if you're unstable, the goal of today's show is to make you stable. Yeah. And if you're stable, it's to reinforce your stability.
And give you a better picture of eternity.
Yes.
Because we're not talking about it enough. And you want to know where you're heading. You want to know some of these things. We want to talk about this because you want to live a life that is completely filled with.
Correct.
And if you live a life that you've talked to us, living a life that is